Do, 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 do. Hello, everybody. What is going on? Oh, I'm getting low on coffee. How's everyone's day going so far? It's a great Tuesday, and you know what I saw today that got me thinking about the future of the world, or even just on a smaller scale, America. I saw this video. I believe this is in China where they have this vaccine bot. Basically, you stick your hand in, and the the scanner comes and it scans. It shines a red light on your arm, and then it illuminates your veins, and then and scan a camera on the machine pinpoints where your vein is, and then a needle goes into your vein and it injects whatever you're trying to get. And that got me thinking about the future of healthcare because, you know, a, a lot of the healthcare professionals, doctors, nurses, they go for hours of schooling, hours of studying, just tons and tons of money for licenses and insurance, whatever, right? Doctors essentially go to school for 8 gajillion years. By the time you're done with medical school to be a doctor, you're like 30, I believe it's like 32, somewhere around there. Like it's like 8 years, I believe, of schooling, right? And you have like a mountain of debt. Usually they're in like $400,000 in student loans, easy, right? A lot of these doctors, medical professionals, specialists. And I saw this robot this morning. I mean, this clip, maybe I'll try to find it as I'm talking to you guys about it. It's pretty simple. Again, basically, the guy stuck his hand into this machine. The machine shined a red light on his arm to illuminate veins, and then a camera kind of like calculated, oh, that's a vein right there, and it just injected him with whatever, right? And I'm thinking, well, that's a whole, that's a nurse's, usually that's the nurse's job, right? And we've all been there. I've been there. I've had this one experience where this one nurse, he missed my vein, this vein here. I mean, I was dehydrated. I didn't drink enough water. Pro tip: if you're gonna go give blood, or they need to draw blood, or you're gonna go to the hospital, hydrate, because you never know when they need to take blood out, right? And make sure you stay hydrated so you have blood for them to take out. Because the worst thing you can do is get the the missing of the veins is one of the most dreadful things to me. You know, you know what I mean? And it's terrible. Um, and I really want to get the footage of it, but just me watching that video of that guy getting his injection through a robot, right? An AI powered robot got me thinking of, well, that's a whole medical job that is going to get replaced, right? And it's crazy how the where we're going with this. Because like that's a whole field that's going to get rocked. And the fact that this is happening in China, right? I don't know, you guys have seen it. They have full on shipping yards that are completely devoid of people. There's no people in these shipping yards. They started developing this during, the COVID years. They have shipping yards that are completely like robotic now, and I believe they're making a push to make hospitals. They're trying to, in China. They're trying to make this push for hospitals to be fully AI powered. AI robotic powered. Just think about it, okay? You can you have you walk in, right? And most likely you pre-scheduled yourself, right? So you probably have like an app or some kind of QR code. You scan the QR code. Okay, cool. It knows where you are. There's another robot that probably scans you and goes, okay, oh, we need to get blood. You go walk over to the other machine that that I just talked about, where it can draw blood. It draws blood. It labels it. It scans it. You know how the nurses, they have like gajillion bottles, and they all have barcodes and whatnot, and then they label them. They label it. Labels it. Boom, 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 boom. Sends it off. Gets tested. Right away. It goes through one of those tube things. Gets tested. Okay. Next, you go wait into a waiting room, and while it's testing, it's doing. There's another machine. You just sit into it. It shines a light into your eyes. It takes your vitals, whatever, right? Boom, 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 boom. Just think about how many jobs that is right there, that the hospital itself can save. That's like 2 3 jobs already that are multi-figured. Like, these jobs are not cheap jobs too. They're highly skilled jobs. Gone. The hospital doesn't have to worry about medical insurance. Healthcare. Let me go find some videos or some images so I can give you guys some context. That's what we want, guys. We want, like, oh, these are all AI generated. Let me find something concrete that we can talk about. I wish I could find the footage of the that I found earlier, because that would be very helpful. Let me see. Oh, and surgeries. I know this for sure. I saw this. I have a clip of this. I'll play this. Let me see if I can play this. Okay, let's play this clip. All right, because this is kind of in the vein of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stuff like that. Okay, full screen so you guys can see.
This is our robot. We call it Terry Sarcobot. Okay, Terry for Terry Fox. The idea of these robots is to help us remove these
No. See,
very
this robot's
deadly
gonna replace
cancers
this
as
guy.
precisely as possible.
Just imagine, in a few
Less
years,
cutting,
this thing is gonna
less blood
replace this
loss,
guy.
more precision.
The surgical performance enhancement and robotics is a part of our department's to.
Okay, pause. Okay, you see what I'm talking about? It's stuff like that. Okay, right now that guy is training, and there's a guy that has to remote operate these surgical bots, right? In the future, they're gonna have a robot do that, an AI do that, and who knows? It might be. Here's the problem, okay? It might be even better. That's the concerning part, I think, for me, is that it's most likely gonna be better, because I think back to, oh, I was there for my wife's C-section, right? And I remember, and if you've watched Nip Tuck, you guys remember that show? Oh, the actor from Nip Tuck recently, one of them just recently passed away. But do you remember, like, I remember when I was there for my wife's C-section, we, for some reason, the timing of our of the delivery was in between shifts. So the doctor that was on, that was the main doctor that was there before, the shift changed, but he just decided to stay on, and while the other doctor came in, and he's like, "Oh, it's supposed to be my shift," and they decided to just operate together and just knock this one out real quick. And I just remember, and I was in there, and then they were just chatting and about their vacations, and what is your daughter up to these days, and like just small talk or whatever, right? And if you remember, like if you watched Nip Tuck, like I did when I was growing up, um, they would just chat about whatever, and you see them, they'll go party the day before, whatever. The robot doesn't do that. The robot doesn't go party the day before, for the surgery. The robot doesn't have all that extra baggage that goes around with the surgeons, and it might be even better. Who knows? Because medical malpractice is a real thing, and I'm pretty sure the hospitals looking at all this AI technology that's coming out and bots and whatnot, and they're salivating. They're so excited for it to get just a little bit better, just a tad better, so um, they don't have to keep all these doctors on payroll. Because a few months ago I was talking about, or weeks ago I was talking about jobs that are AI proof. And I was saying that the general doctor is out, the general family doctor, I felt like they were on their way out because of, you could self-diagnose yourself pretty well now with all the ChatGPT and all the AI tools that they have. And I was like, oh, if you're gonna go into medical, you gotta be a surgeon, because that's something that you know bots and AI cannot replace. But after seeing some of the new advancements that are going out right now, they're done. They're so. I'm telling you, next 10 years or so, hospitals. I want to say a good chunk of it is going to be automated. Like, just me seeing that one video this morning of the drawing blood, that part, and I was like, I mean, I'm pretty sure in Asia it's gonna get adopted pretty quickly because they love that kind of stuff. In Japan, I don't know, you guys have been to Japan. They hate talking to people. I don't know what it is inside their culture, but they just hate interacting with people. If you ordered food in Japan, like, it's a lot of times it's they give you you go to the restaurant and they have like a vending machine, and and it's got pictures or whatever, and you say you want a bowl of ramen, you just pick A5, right, for that bowl of ramen, and then it'll give you a um a little ticket thing, and then you just give that ticket to the person, right? And that person makes it and puts it out, and that's it. You don't have to talk to anybody. Right. My friend just recently went to Japan, and he was kind of worried because he's not Asian or anything. He doesn't know Japanese language or anything. And I'm like, dude, the thing about going to Japan is they make it tourist proof. That's why people love going over there. It's you you can have the best time in Japan and not speak to a single person or know any Japanese, because literally almost everything is automated. If they can make it automated, they tried. So I could see this getting adopted in Japan. I could see this getting adopted in. What's crazy is China's working on all this stuff, right? But they have like a billions of people, and I'm surprised that even they are moving towards this like this autonomous automated manufacturing just style, because they have so much people. I'm just surprised. um the last time I visited a factory in China was, gosh, how long has it been? 10 around just a few years ago. It was like maybe 6 or so years ago. Really try not to go to China if I don't have to. But I remember the time that I was there, um, I was touring a factory, and this factory makes theater. I don't know if you guys seen it, but they have them in some of the malls. They're like 5D like theater chairs. I don't know if there's still a thing anymore. I just remember like 12 years ago, in China it was a thing. It was like seven. It was called 7D, and this factory owner or company wanted me to bring that to America, right? Like they wanted to have a station in America, and I wanted to go check it out. And um, my thoughts were the graphics were terrible, so that's why I didn't do it because I was like, the concept was pretty cool. Basically, you sit in a theater chair, and it's kind of like if you guys have been to the California Adventures, that they have a ride there where they like you're in a theater seat and you move around, and then like they when you go through the orange field, they shoot orange scent at you, and there's wind, they kind of make you feel like you're there. I think they have like a few different ones now in Disneyland. But when I went over there in China, this was a new-ish concept in China, and they have quite a few of them, like locations doing this kind of stuff. And it's like basically a kids ride, but like like you go through like the ocean, and they'll shoot little bubbles at you or whatever. You go through a scary part, and there's a fog machine and stuff like that. And I didn't like it because I remember at the time I was looking at the graphics, and I was like, this is not gonna fly in America because the graphics were terrible. It was like I was like, have you seen game, like computer game graphics? This is it's so realistic. There's no way anyone in America would entertain this at all because it was so kiddie. The animation was terrible. Anyways, fast forward maybe 4 or 5 years later, I remember going through a mall, and I saw one of the 7D stations or someone trying to do it, and I was like, oh, someone got suckered into bringing that over. But anyways, the factory. I remember when I was touring that factory, they were building the chairs, right? And they were putting the hydraulics on the chairs and whatever. And they had like 20 guys just hanging around in the factory. And I was like, and being from America, I'm like, what are those guys doing? They're just standing around, like it's not very efficient. Like American work style is like go, 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 work, work, work. Everyone has to be doing something, you gotta get my money's worth, right? And they're like they had like 10. I felt like this factory could have downsized by like at least 30%. Like they had so many extra people just standing around. And the boss at the time was saying like, oh, sometimes we have a lot of work, sometimes we have a little bit of work, but we have the China's number one thing is that we have a lot of people, and so we just use muscle to do a lot of stuff, right? And I was like, oh, okay, and then it got me thinking like, yeah, I guess that's true. There's like 2-3 billion of them, whatever, over there in China, and so they have no shortage of people and no shortage of jobs because there's, you know, they'll employ like 5 guys to move a couch, you know, to do a simple like something simple as that. And so I get very surprised when I see them replacing a lot of like jobs with automation, and then I think about how things are going in America where we are trying very hard um, to stop stop that, where we're trying to like let's go back basically the plan in American manufacturing seems to be going towards old school assembly line manufacturing. While even in China they're not even going, they're trying to get away from that. So i I don't know, just thinking about the new AI robotic powered hospital that's gonna be fully autonomous in China, and it's gonna happen because they're working very hard in that tech field. Because think about it, a doctor makes at least what, like two, three, $400,000 a year. One of these robots uh only costs most likely around that range, like 200 to $300,000 too, right? And they can operate so much faster than a regular doctor. Doctor has to take breaks. He has to eat lunch. This machine, these machines can just keep on going, you know? Just think about just the blood drawing one I was talking about earlier. Um, that's a full-time nurse's job. Usually one of the first ones to come in. That I remember last time I went to the hospital, there's a nurse that's literally all he does. He just sits there, and whoever he had a line of like five or so patients just sitting there, and he's going down drawing blood from each of them, and every time they're done, maybe another person walks in and then he's got to draw that person's blood, right? This machine just completely eliminates him from from the picture, right? And that's probably a what, $60,000 a year job that just got replaced, right? 60, 70, I don't know, somewhere around there, right? That just got eliminated. And then it's even faster. And even let's say the hospital slows down, within the year or so, it'll that machine will get paid off, and then it'll just be gravy, 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 you know? And then there's no, I'm pretty sure somebody's gotten sued before for missing the vein. Because I remember when that one nurse missed the vein, oh my god, my arms swelled up like crazy. It was terrible. But yeah, it's just very interesting to see where things are going. Lawyers are, they need help. They're gonna go out. Besides trial attorneys, but I literally said this about surgeons, and now I feel like surgeons aren't even safe. So who knows if trial attorneys are gonna be even safe later on? It's gonna be a fun time. Right now, it looks like we're all gonna become, I don't know, electricians until they make an electrician bot, and then it's all over. All right, see you guys later.